evening and welcome to Valley Stadium in West Des Moines as we get ready for a matchup of ranked teams. It is number one Dowling Catholic, the Maroons, the six-time defending state champions in Class 4A as they take on second-ranked Waukee here at our Central Iowa game of the week. A couple of games going on here tonight on CISN. We will bring you, of course, this one with Waukee and Dowling Catholic, and it'll be the matchup of the Ankeny schools also on CISN. It'll be the Centennial Jaguars going up against the Ankeny Hawks, another top 10 matchup there. Number 9 Ankeny and 4th-ranked Centennial from the first rankings that came out from Radio Iowa. Here, a chance for another great game as we kick off the 2019 football season. Dowling Catholic, they have been the behemoths at the top of Class 4A for the last 6 seasons. Waukee, one of the teams certainly hoping that they can make a run at what they can do going forward. And a great offense coming back for the Warriors, led by their senior quarterback, Mitch Randall, going into his 3rd season as a starting quarterback. A year ago, threw for 22 touchdowns against just 6 interceptions and over 2,000 yards through the air. Randall also added over 1,000 yards rushing last year for the Warriors. He'll try to get it going here tonight against a always stingy Maroon defense. Some changes for Dowling Catholic, and one of the biggest storylines of the offseason was the transfer of Gavin Williams. Gavin Williams, the outstanding All-State running back from Southeast Polk, made the decision that he was going to make a move and he was going to come to Dowling Catholic for his senior campaign before he starts his career at the University of Iowa. Gavin Williams will be inactive though this evening. He is on the injured list, not able to play, a stress reaction in his foot. Going to keep him out this evening and won't be playing in the matchup here tonight. Big storyline of the offseason. Should be a great one regardless of that, though, this evening. Coming up here in the pregame show on Prep Preview on CISN, we're going to hear from Waukee Athletic Director Jim Dewey. He's going to stop by, talk a little bit about Waukee and upcoming season for them across both football and all the sports at Waukee after an all-sports title for the Warriors a year ago. We'll also hear from the Assistant Athletic Director, Mike O'Connor from Dowling Catholic. He'll be stopping by here, along with Dart Danielson, who will have the play-by-play call tonight on CISN. We'll take a quick break, coming back on the other side, and Mike O'Connor going to set to join us along with Jim Dewey. We will talk with both of them, take a look at Waukee and Dowling Catholic. As we come back, it's Prep Preview on CISN.TV.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee will be open Labor Day 10 to 4. Chevy Labor Day sales event through September 3rd. No payments for 90 days. 0% for 72 months plus over $6,000 off Silverado double cabs. 0% for 60 months plus over $6,000 off Silverado Crew, 1LTs, and SPs. No payments for 90 days. Save in Waukee. 0 for 60 plus up to $3,000 off Equinox. No payments for 90 days. 0 for 72 plus up to $2,200 off Trax. No payments for 90 days. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. From medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Central Bank is proud to support the unmatched spirit of sportsmanship and hard work exemplified by our local athletes. We're fans of high school sports and the way the big game and hometown team rally a community. Best of luck to all of today's competitors. Play hard, have fun, and make something great happen. Central Bank, member FDIC.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
Welcome back here to Valley Stadium as we get ready for a matchup of ranked teams tonight on CISN. It will be number 1 Dowling Catholic and number 2 Waukee. Trent Condon here, and joined by the athletic director at Waukee, longtime AD now, Jim Dewey, here with us on our pregame show as we get ready to kick off the season for 2019. Jim, good to see you again. And, well, just a couple weeks ago, it felt like we were finishing up high school baseball. Here we go.
Yeah, and we're ready to start. When you start saying long time, that means I must be pretty old. So
we're all getting that way. We're all getting that way, no doubt. Well, as we look at this season, Jim, certainly a lot of expectations for this Waukee football program. And, you know, the build, and you've seen the development of this program and just moving up classes and what they are. Dowling, they are the behemoth. The 6 straight titles, trying to chase them down, always difficult. But at least on the surface, it appears the pieces are in place for Waukee to make a run at a title this year.
I think it's no secret we do have several returning starters. There's some areas that we don't have returning starters in, and I think that's going to be critical tonight, especially in Game 1. Talking particularly about the offensive line. We have good offensive linemen, but I don't think any of them have ever started a game. We're replacing all 5 starters on the offensive line. We do have a lot of people back in the skill positions. We have several starters back on defense. But as you mentioned, when you're going to go up against a Dowling team, it doesn't matter if it's week 1 or in the quarterfinals or semifinals of the state playoffs. You're going to be in a battle.
Well, Jim, as you look at Waukee, last year a all-state championship across all the sports, and you know the athletic department as a whole, we talk so much about football and some of the other bigger sports, but it is top to bottom over there on the west side of town with what you guys have done at Waukee, not just investing in one sport, but across the board, the athletic program there at Waukee.
Yeah, well, thank you. We try to pride ourselves on our athletic department. We talk in terms of it being one team. And that one team competes for, as you mentioned, that all sports award each year. And I think our coaches embrace that. I think our athletes embrace it. And I think our community does. And we were very fortunate last year to have an outstanding year across the board, all 21 sports. 17 of those 21 placed in the top 8 at state competition. And the stat that just continues to blow me away, 11 of our 21 sports were placed in the top 3 at state. So we're so proud of that. But we know it's a new year.
Evening, number 1 Dowling, number 2 Waukee in the first rankings from Radio Iowa. Jim Dewey joining us on the prep preview pregame here on CISN.TV. Jim, there's some changes coming, though, to the future of Waukee. I know I bring it up to you every time that we talk, but it's something that is a big conversation piece. How far down the road are we? And I know I have some friends over in the Iowa City community when they went through it, of course, here closer to home in Ankeny with the split happened with them a few years back. The challenges even before it happens, are there things that you're already in preparation for?
We certainly are. And I think you'd mentioned challenges. There might be more challenges before the building even opens as opposed to once the new school opens. We're less than 2 years away now. We will open up in the fall of 2021. We're making that transition this year. Our first step in that transition is for the first time our 9th graders will compete as 2 separate schools. And then the plan will be that next year they'll compete as 2 sophomore programs, and then obviously we'll make that transition to 2 separate high schools. So far, we opened last night, and we had some volleyball teams playing last night, both Timberline and Prairie View. Those are the 2 names of our lower level feeder programs right now at the 9th grade level, and the volleyball teams fared very well. Our football team, I'm not sure we scheduled real well because we split our football teams into 2, and we opened with Ankeny, Centennial, and Dowling. So, we were competitive. We were not able to win either of those games, but we know there's going to be challenges there as we try to make that transition to 2 high schools, as you mentioned, similarly to what Ankeny did, and more recently Iowa City.
Some people might blame the athletic director for that scheduling.
Well, I'll always blame it on my 8-9 athletic director.
That's fair enough. Jim Dewey joining us here. Well, to this season, we talked about the football team, Mitch Randall back, the quarterback. going into his third season as a starter and the development of him throughout the years. Talked about the offensive line, a lot of guys to replace there, but just as a whole, when you look at the athletic department, specifically here, the fall sports season, before we get into it, volleyball, always a really good program over there in Waukee. You got cross country, you got fall golf. Tell us a little bit about some of the other sports here this fall.
Yeah, we opened, our volleyball team opened in preseason rankings don't mean a whole lot, but we opened up as the number 5 ranked team in this large school class. We opened our season the other night against, I think, second ranked Ankeny. Lost a 5-set match to them, but it was very competitive, and I know our coach felt really good about us going on the road and going against an outstanding program like Ankeny and doing what we did. Boys golf team for us that's always one of our strong suits. We're the defending state champions there. We lost a lot of kids off our golf team, so we're still trying to figure out what our lineup's going to be, but we've had good success so far. They've already played, I believe, 4 matches, so we'll see how that continues to fare. Our girls swimmers, I think, will make an improvement this year. We're traditionally a top 10 or top 8 program, but I think we might make a step up there and maybe have an opportunity to compete for one of the top 3 trophies at the state swim meet. And what else? We have cross country. Cross country. I was just talking to Mike O'Connor. We were talking about cross country, and Dowling girls lost pretty much their entire team. Waukee boys lost pretty much their entire varsity team, but the Dowling boys are all back and the Waukee girls are all back. So I'm anxious to see. They open up action tomorrow over in Cedar Rapids, both our boys and girls. So we'll see how they fare as we get the season started.
You know, a little bit of a later start here this year, just the way that the calendar broke this year. And personally, I like it. I like this kind of pushback a little bit. It feels like there's so many years we come into the year and it feels like it is so quick, and just that extra, 6-7 days that we had in the calendar this year, it seems like it's good and maybe good for the kids. My wife's a teacher and she said the same thing. Kind of good for them to have that.
Yeah, I would agree. And if those 6 days had anything to do with the weather that we have tonight, then I think we keep doing it that way. It's a beautiful night tonight. But yeah, it did give us a little bit of a chance to, it didn't seem like we were so rushed. And we were even able to have our meet the player night was actually before school even started, and that usually never happens for us, but it's just the way that the calendar rolled this year. So it was kind of refreshing to not be quite so rushed at the beginning, and hopefully we'll have good outcomes as a result.
Well, Jim, always great catching up with you. Appreciate your time tonight.
Love to be here. Thanks.
Jim Dewey, Athletic Director for Waukee. We'll come back on the other side. We got more coming on the prep preview on CISN. We're going to be talking with Dar Danielson, breaking down tonight's matchup between number 2 Waukee and number 1 Dowling Catholic. Also Mike O'Connor, the Associate AD over at Dowling Catholic, scheduled to join us here as we continue. Quick timeout, back with more. It's the prep preview on CISN.TV.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Hi, Ron here, head coach of Westside Auto Pros. When your car's on the injured reserve, you want to get it back in the game as soon as possible. I know that. That's why you need to bring it here to Westside Auto Pros. I have a team of experts that can fix almost every automotive injury. Whether it's a fractured joint, a brake, or if your car just got its bell rung, no problem. We can even do a complete physical on your car to make sure it's game ready for the entire season. So bring your car to Westside Auto Pros and we'll get it back in the starting lineup in no time. Hey, you guys are dogging it back here. Let's move it, move it, move it.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Here's to everyone who believes in competition and good sportsmanship, who knows it's not about the trophies or the medals, but rather the lessons learned. For those who understand, it's not whether you win or lose, just that you give your best. So go ahead, lace them up, take the field, have fun, and play. For the experience, for the memories, for the love of the game. Shields.
Every month or so, there's another story in the media about when and how often we need to get our mammograms. Kind of confusing. When this happens, I like to consult with experts. So I called Iowa Radiology. They recommend women get an annual mammogram starting at age 40. They know that it's the best way to detect cancers early and save lives. And that's good enough for me. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule your mammogram. Iowa Radiology, our focus is your good health.
Welcome back to Prep Preview on CISN. I'm Trent Condon here as we await kickoff. Number 1, Dowling Catholic, and number 2, Waukee. This one tonight should be a good one. Obviously, you look at the rankings. Waukee's got some question marks of their own. Let's take a peek at our keys to the game this evening here on CISN.TV for the matchup with the Maroons and the Warriors. First up, and the first key to the game for Waukee, get off to a fast start. These two teams faced off a year ago, and it was Dowling Catholic jumping out to a big lead in game number 1. Important, certainly, for the Warriors to get out there, get off to a fast start. And when you're taking on the team that's won 6 straight titles, always important to get off to a fast start. That starts right there for Waukee here tonight. Key number 2 for tonight's matchup for Dowling, find that running game. Offensive lineman, a couple to replace still. Certainly a great offensive line for the Maroons, but without Gavin Williams, somebody that certainly was anticipated to get the start here tonight. He's out with the injury, the Southeast Polk transfer. With him out, get the ground game going and find who the running back is going to be. Tegan Johnson is back. He ran for almost 600 yards last season in a backup role to Jason Murray. But with him out there, certainly want to take a look and see what he's going to be able to do with Johnson. And if it's not Johnson, find somebody else to pick up the slack with no Gavin Johnson tonight for Dowling Catholic. And finally, the third key to the game tonight is jitters. It's the first game of the season. We're going to see a lot of players tonight playing for the first time at the varsity level, playing on the big stage. There'll be a great crowd on hand tonight. A lot of times, different kids react in different ways, and because of that, that is something you're going to have to keep an eye on, those jitters, and what we see from both sides for Dowling Catholic and for Waukee. Those are our keys to the game tonight with Waukee and Dowling Catholic here on CISN. That's not all, though. We got another great game, another top 10 matchup as number 9 Ankeny faces off against 4th-ranked Ankeny Centennial here tonight on CISN.TV. All you have to do to find that matchup, just search on YouTube is where you can find it. Search CISN, and you can take a look at the two matchups we have here tonight, both this one with Dowling and Waukee, and then the Ankeny Centennial matchup on CISN. Just find that on YouTube. Right now, we're going to welcome in the voice you'll be hearing tonight in the play-by-play broadcast. It'll be Dar Danielson, who's going to come right in right now. We're going to talk to Dar a little bit about this matchup and how he sees things. Dar, welcome to the show.
A few autographs over there. You know.
Look at that. The big man over there got the play-by-play duties this evening. And Dar, certainly you've seen these two programs throughout the years and what they have been. Dowling Catholic, though, they are just the king at the top of the hill. Takes a lot. They've lost some regular season games, but seemingly every year when we get to October and into November, it seems like the Maroons just take it to another level.
Yeah, and this game means something, but it doesn't mean a lot in the scheme of things right now. Each game after it means more as they build up toward that. And I think Waukee would say the same thing. You know, you fill in new guys, but Dowling, it just seemed to, you know, you don't want to beat Dowling in the regular season and then come back and face them because then they're going to beat you again. It's finding a way to beat them in that postseason is the key, and they've always seemed to get better at that. And offensive and defensive lines are part of the big key to that, I think.
It really is what they do year after year and building together those big lines. It's a key, and that's the concern tonight for Waukee. 5 starters gone along the offensive line.
Yeah, and then staying in there with them tough, and, you know, you have young guys in there, and do they make the mistake against a more experienced line, a bigger line? But they have some skilled players if they can get a big play here and there, you know. and not get too far behind. That's always a key, too, against Dowling.
Well, and it always helps when you have a 3-year starting quarterback in Mitch Randall, who has put up some prolific numbers last year, 2,000 yards passing, 1,000 yards rushing. He's a physical quarterback. He plays that hybrid role. He can do a lot of different things. He's got some skill position guys on the outside, some good speed out there. In the trenches is certainly a concern, and Dowling has some questions of their own. I've had a few people tell me if Dowling's still the favorite. There's no doubt, but maybe a little bit more susceptible than they have some other years this year.
Well, I've heard that about 6 years in a row now. But they managed to find a way to work that out. But yeah, Mitch Randall, I've seen him more than one game that I've done at Waukee where things are not going well, and he'll take it over with a run of his own, starts breaking things up. He starts running just when you think he's going to take over and run it. He goes to the pass and throws a nice pass and, gets him going in it. If they can get a little bit of that balance going where he doesn't have to run, And Dowling, they've got a confidence. All these kids have played on a state championship team, and there's just a confidence when the time comes late in the game that they're going to make a play to do it. The other teams still have to find a way to knock them out and make their own play to beat them.
Dar Danielson, he'll have the call tonight. Play-by-play, number 1 Dowling Catholic, number 2 Waukee here on CISN.TV. Dar, thanks for joining me. Have a great call.
Yep.
We'll take a quick timeout. Coming back with more. It's the Prep Preview on CISN.TV.
Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee will be open Labor Day 10 to 4. Chevy Labor Day sales event through September 3rd. No payments for 90 days. 0% for 72 months plus over $6,000 off Silverado double cabs. 0% for 60 months plus over $6,000 off Silverado Crew, 1LTs, and SPs. No payments for 90 days. Save in Waukee. 0 for 60 plus up to $3,000 off Equinox. No payments for 90 days. 0 for 72 plus up to $2,200 off Trax. No payments for 90 days. Open Labor Day 10 to 4. Schottenkirk Chevrolet Waukee. WaukeeChevy.com.
Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology. Moms typically get to make a majority of the healthcare decisions for their family. That can be a lot of pressure, but not for me, because I know the choice is ours. For medical tests like MRIs, X-rays, CAT scans, and of course mammograms, ask your doctor to refer you to Iowa Radiology. They work around our hectic schedules, they're the best at what they do, and they're so great with my family. They truly care, and it shows. Visit iowaradiology.com or call to schedule an appointment. Iowa Radiology.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Trent Condon back with you one final time here on Prep Preview on CISN.TV as we await kickoff with number 1 Dowling Catholic and second-ranked Waukee. Our other matchup tonight, Ankeny Centennial, another top 10 matchup in the first Radio Iowa rankings of the season. The 4th-ranked Jaguars and the number 9-ranked Hawks. You can find that game. Just search CISN on YouTube, and you can find the links to both of our games here tonight. Some other good matchups across the area tonight. It'll be West Des Moines Valley making their way over east to take on the Rams of Southeast Polk. We'll be keeping our eye on that one and have updates all throughout the evening. Also, Urbandale goes on the road to Johnston to take on the Dragons. In the Metro, it will be Lincoln. They're at home against Des Moines East. Roosevelt on the road for Hoover. North taking on Marshalltown. That's a road trip for the Polar Bears here tonight. A couple other matchups around Central Iowa this evening we're watching, including Norwalk at Indianola. In Class 3A, a top 10 matchup is Dallas Center Grimes, ranked number 7 in the first rankings of the year. They go up and take on Pella. And our big matchup here in the small schools, it's outside of Central Iowa, but a big one. Second ranked in Class 2A, Boynton Hull Rock Valley, as they face number 1 ranked in Class 1A, West Sioux. Lots of games here tonight. It is week 1 of high school football, and we have it here for you on CISN CISN.TV. Dowling Catholic Waukee, Ankeny versus Ankeny Centennial are two matchups. Keep an eye on them all throughout the night on CISN. Thanks to everybody for listening in and watching us here tonight as we get ready for kickoff about a half hour away tonight between the Maroons and the Warriors. That'll do it tonight for Prep Preview. Kickoff a half hour away on CISN.TV. Good night, everybody.